It is a Saturday night in Toowoomba. That's right, Saturday night, and it's a beautiful Saturday night at that. And I am out on a mission. Now the beautiful hostess that is providing me accommodations, when she saw me get all dressed up, she thought, "Oh, you're going hunting for a woman." And I said, "No, not at all. I'm just going out on the town tonight. I'm gonna find myself a nice dinner, and I'm gonna do something that I've been meaning to do for a little while now. I've been in Toowoomba the better part of 3 months, and I've shown you a lot of flowers and parks and, you know, sunsets and sunrises and, you know, Bunya National Park and all that kind of stuff, but I really haven't shown you Toowoomba. And it's a beautiful city. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to just do a walk and talk through the town, the CBD, the Central Business District, as they would call it. And I'm just going to bring you along for a walk and talk. It's not a very big town, so it shouldn't take me very long to do that. And there's a lot of historic buildings in this town, one of which is just right across the street from me. And I'm going to flip the camera around, and you will see it right there. That right there is the Technical College. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was built in 1911. So well over 100 years ago, which gives you some idea as to just how old Toowoomba is. And it did, it's 1911 as it shows up there. So what I'd like to do is just do a very simple, nothing fancy, walk and talk, and just bring you along and show you what Toowoomba is like. You've seen the parks and all that other stuff, but I just want to show you the actual CBD. And in part I want to do this because from years from now I want to be able to look back and just pull this up on the telly, as they might call it down here. Now you're looking at Queens Park just across the street, but I want to be able to pull this up on the telly years from now and remember what it was like to walk around the CBD here in Toowoomba. And I'm going to bring you along, and I'll probably not be able to share everything with you, but interestingly enough, I am walking right now on what's called Margaret Street. And this was the very first street that I walked down when I first came to Toowoomba. And to be quite honest with you, it didn't necessarily make the greatest first impression. It was still, it was late winter. It was early July, which would have been, I think, late winter. And I remember walking down this street one night as I pulled into town to wonder what this town was just all about. And this was the very street that I walked down. And I can remember walking into this hotel, and you look at the front of it, you would almost think that that is a, church, looking at that building. But this is the Quest Hotel, and I remember walking in and inquiring about accommodations, and it really is a beautiful building. Look at that. So it's not too long before the sun is going to go down, and I thought what I would do is just kind of walk down the two main streets. I believe that there are two main streets here. You have Margaret Street, on which I'm standing, and then you have another street just up ahead, which is Ruthven, R-U-T-H-V-E-N, Ruthven or Ruthven Street. And I'll do a little walk right down that street there as well. So it is a Saturday night, still a little bit early. It's about 5:30, and people, I would imagine, are still getting ready to go out. Here's another building that you can see that looks rather historic. And I gotta be conscientious of which way the traffic is going, because it's quite easy to get mixed up when you're out walking about, especially when you're distracted holding a camera. You see a family going by on a evening bike ride. And here is this is the old post office right there, and there is your courthouse, 1878 to 1979. And there's a movie theater here that is supposed to be rather famous, or the interior is supposed to be just really beautiful. And it may very well be this one here. I believe it is. I believe it's called the Strand. The Strand Theater. Look at that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's something going on inside the Strand Theater tonight. But look at that beautiful building. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there is a rather beautiful interior to this building. And I don't know that I could share it with you. Well, actually, you know what? This is a movie theater at the moment. And I don't know if I can show you any of the inside. But this is a rather beautiful movie theater. So there's another theater here in town. As you go through Toowoomba also, you'll notice these stained glass windows. A lot of the buildings have these really beautiful stained glass windows. I probably have the better part of about 15 minutes before the sun sets, and then I'll have a little bit of twilight, which should make for some good photography. But that's the courthouse, 1878, 1979. And I've actually thought about toyed with the idea of bringing my drone down here to Toowoomba in the early morning and doing some drone photography. But I don't think that I will. Now here is the corner of the cinema. Look at that right there. I am on the corner of actually on the corner of Neal Street. It's not too busy tonight. As I turn around, I could give you a better view of the cinema right there. Kind of an Art Deco type of a look to it. So somewhere around here, I am going to find myself a nice place to have dinner. They're actually having some footy tonight. They're having some playoffs. I think it's rugby. They're having rugby playoffs tonight. Not too far from here, just down the road in Brizzy, which is how they call that's how they call Brisbane. You're looking at the T&L building. And if I come around, look at that building right there. Beautiful. It really is a beautiful town. Toowoomba is an agricultural town. I could be mistaken, but I think that Toowoomba is actually one of the largest cities, one of the largest inland, if not the largest inland city in Australia. Not quite sure what the population is here. There's no shortage of restaurants. And the very first meal that I had in Toowoomba, of all the places, was right here. It was the New York Slice Pizzeria. That was my first dining experience here in Toowoomba, if only because I think that might have been the only place that was open. You look at that building right there, the Chronicle building itself is pretty nice. So depending on when these buildings were built, a lot of the buildings may have a like an Art Deco style to them. One city that I visited in New Zealand called Napier, N-A-P-I-E-R, Napier, was leveled by an earthquake right about the time that Art Deco was in style, and they and a lot of the buildings were built to conform to that particular architectural trend at that time. So I'm still walking down Margaret Street. I haven't come to the major intersection. I will be though here in just a moment. There's a large intersection just up ahead. This would be the Ruthven or Ruthven. There's another one of my little favorite eateries just up ahead, or maybe I'll indulge myself tonight, and that is the Gelatismo or something like that. I actually have a challenging time sometimes pronouncing words. In fact, I had a speech impediment when I was a young kid. Gelatismo, I think is the name. And you know, bless their heart, look what they've got. They've got a big sign up on the top talking about they got the big sign up at the top talking about the American flavors, the new American flavors. So these roundabouts, or these crosswalks, are rather interesting because they're massive. It's just a massive intersection here, you see. And when the light goes red, you can walk in any direction. You just walk out into the middle of the street, just about in any direction. So this street right here, if I'm not mistaken, also has some really nice buildings. There you see the Harrison printing. Now this street right here has look at this building right here, the White Horse. Isn't that beautiful? Especially against a wonderful blue sky. Very nice. Quite a few cars parked along the streets, and you gotta wonder just where all of these people are, whether they're maybe already inside having dinner or not. But it is a quiet night. It was a rather warm day today. The temperature was probably well into the 80s. So I'm not going to go too far. I'm not going to go too far down the street here. The street would go quite a ways. But I will actually turn around, and in doing so share this building right here with you, which is the Alexandra building. Look at that. And no, they weren't beeping at me. They were beeping at somebody that was just grabbing a parking spot. Look at that. And if you look closely, you'll see the trees are just starting to blossom as it is springtime. So the leaves are falling up on the northern hemisphere, and they're just coming out down here in the southern hemisphere. Now, another city that I am actually growing with anticipation to go and visit is the city of, it's going to be the city of Hobart. And I have been looking into Hobart recently, and it just seems like it's going to be a wonderful city. Seems like it's going to be a great place to just go and spend the better part of a month, if not the entirety in Hobart, but spend the better part of a week or so in Hobart, and then do a little bit of traveling across the rest of the country, or the state rather, of the state of Tasmania, which is still, as I just say that matter-of-factly now that I'm going to Tasmania, but boy, all my life Tasmania was just such an exotic place. It was just a place that I wouldn't have dreamed that I would have been going there. So I'm still heading down Margaret Street now. I'm back onto Margaret Street. I'm not going to go too far down. Just up ahead is the shopping mall, which I think is, if I'm not mistaken, is called the Grand Central. And there is your store just across the street called JB Hi-Fi. And the JB Hi-Fi is somewhat the equivalent, for those of you back in America, of Best Buy. If I were to try to describe JB Hi-Fi to you, it's kind of like the Best Buy of Australia. You even have the colors on it. And way off in the distance, or not too far off in the distance, is the Grand Central Shopping Center. So I'm going to find my way back up, and I actually see a restaurant up on the top of a building up there, and I think I may very well go up there and treat myself to a nice dinner here on a beautiful Toowoomba Saturday night. Really is a wonderful town. Toowoomba is it's just a wonderful place. It's not close to the wall. It's not probably a good 2 hours from Toowoomba to put your feet in the sand, but that's okay. It still has the climate up here, and I say up here because Toowoomba is elevated. The climate in Toowoomba is just really ideal. Not too hot, not too cold. Doesn't get the humidity that a lot of the other places. Now you see flavors of the USA. Take your taste buds on holiday, is what the sign says. Flavors of the USA. So it's kind of interesting being halfway around the world and seeing a big billboard where they're advertising the flavors of my home country, America. And I'm kind of curious to know what exactly those flavors might be. But maybe we will walk across and take a peek inside if I'm able to. So maybe they have something right out on the outside. Flavors of the USA. What are your flavors of the USA?
So
I'm from the USA.
yeah, I can tell a lot of the accent.
You can tell by the accent.
Yeah.
So what are the flavors of the USA? May I see?
Bourbon caramel and pecans, peanut butter with
Is this one?
This one just here.
Oh,
sorry.
down here. Okay. So that is bourbon caramel and pecans. Oh, that looks good.
This is made with Hershey's. And we
Okay.
also have a peanut butter made with Reese's Pieces.
Oh, that looks good. Wonderful. All right, I'm gonna go get some dinner, and I'll come back and I'll try a flavor of the.
Okay.
What's all over your face?
The freckles.
Oh, freckles.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Bye. All right. So there you have it, folks. There's your flavors of the USA. Now I just need to find myself a nice dinner. back and treat myself. Here are some of the youngins here in Toowoomba walking along. And for some of you more observant folks, you'll notice that folks here are not wearing, they're not wearing masks. Interestingly enough. So, and I haven't not really been out for the nightlife. Hungry, we have food. Thirsty, we have beer. Lonely, we have beer. What's on this week? So it looks like we got some live music going on here. Bar under. Very nice. Well, that is just about your walk and talk. I've walked through the better part of the CBD in the better part of 20 minutes. And I hope that the video gave you a nice nice view, a nice perspective of the city of Toowoomba, that there is more to the city than beautiful parks and flowers and sunrises. Very nice. I'll walk just up here. Another beautiful building. Caringal Chambers. I actually see a couple interesting buildings just up ahead, and I'll walk down and share those with you before calling this video a wrap. The Toowoomba Sports Club. Maybe I'll get myself a nice burger with 100% Aussie beef, unless they have some American burgers. But there is the Toowoomba Sports Club, and there's actually a good game on tonight. It's going to be a good game on tonight that might be a nice way to go and find my way down. I have not actually spent a lot of time walking these streets. And this street right here is a street that, well, as I look up ahead, this is the street where just up ahead, I think, is a rather famous toilet. I could be mistaken, but I believe that it is. There's another building established 1886. And the building just to the left of it with that facade, the brown building, kind of reminds me a little bit of Holland. One of the nice things about doing a video like this is that it will give people from around the world that may have spent a part of their life here in a city like Toowoomba the opportunity to come back and walk down the street just as if they were here themselves. As I walk past Mike Williams Country Clothing, look at that. And up there, that great thing you see up there would be a water tank. Here are some more buildings. And what town would be complete without an adult store, established 2002 is when that store was established. So I'm just coming up upon Victoria Street, and I'm actually gonna cross over. And there's the famous toilet, which is just up ahead on the left. There's a famous toilet just over there, and I actually did a video of that. I'm sure if you were to search Toowoomba toilet on YouTube, you'd probably see the video of that. Okay. So we'll go just up a little bit further. Somewhere in this town is a menu with my name on it. Boy, what a beautiful place this is. I know there's one gentleman, his name is Jan, who, if I'm not mistaken, is an Aussie that calls the Netherlands home, and he may very well be watching this video, and I'll give him a shout out, and in doing so say I hope you've enjoyed this walk and talk through Toowoomba, Queensland. And then just up ahead, I'm coming back up to Ruthven Street. And there's one more building that I saw that was of interest. Well, it's a place just across the street. Looks like might actually be it says sports club, but it might be a casino. So there is your Toowoomba Sports Club. And that'd be as good as any spot to wrap up the video on this beautiful Saturday evening in Toowoomba. So I hope you all had a nice walk, a nice stroll through this wonderful city. Look at that, the Toowoomba Sports Club, and there's your view right down the street there. All right, so have a great day.